The Vorthak had ruled the forests of Kepler 442b for 3 million years. Standing 12 feet tall with razor-sharp claws that could rend steel and jaws powerful enough to crush starship hulls, they were the apex predators of their world. Their dark, scaled hide had never known the touch of another creature's claw, and their yellow eyes had never reflected anything but dominance. Zethkar was the largest of his pack, a creature so formidable that even other Vorthak gave him wide berth. He had killed everything from armored thunder beasts to the crystalline singers that could shatter rock with their voice. Nothing in the known galaxy challenged the Vorthak supremacy, until the humans arrived. The colonists had established New Haven 3 months ago, a small settlement of barely 200 souls. The Galactic Council had warned them about Kepler 442b's dangers, but humans rarely listened to warnings. They never did. Zethkar watched the settlement from the tree line, studying these soft pink creatures that walked upright like the ancient builders. They seemed pathetically weak. No claws, no fangs, no protective hide. They relied entirely on their crude tools and metal shelters. The Vorthak pack had been observing them, waiting for the right moment to strike. That moment came when the small human wandered beyond the settlement's energy barriers. The child couldn't have been more than 7 cycles old, barely reaching Zethkar's knee. It was gathering colorful stones by the stream, humming a tuneless melody. Perfect prey. The Vorthak had learned that taking the young ones first broke the spirit of any species. Zethkar moved with the silence that had made his kind legendary. His massive form glided between the trees like a shadow, every muscle coiled for the strike. The child remained oblivious, dropping smooth pebbles into a small container. The attack was swift and precise. Zethkar burst from the undergrowth, claws extended, jaws agape. He had done this countless times before. One quick bite, and it would be over. But something went wrong. The child moved. Not the random flailing of panic, but a deliberate, impossibly fast sidestep that sent Zethkar's massive form crashing into the stream. The Vorthak's confusion lasted only a second before primal rage took over. He spun around, water cascading from his hide, and lunged again. The child rolled beneath his swipe and came up running, not away from the settlement as expected, but deeper into the forest. Zethkar's hunting instincts screamed that this was wrong. Prey didn't run toward danger. Prey didn't lead predators away from safety, unless the prey wasn't prey at all. The chase lasted nearly an hour. The small human moved through the forest with impossible endurance, never seeming to tire, never slowing. Zethkar, for the first time in his life, began to feel fatigue. His kind were built for sudden, devastating attacks, not prolonged pursuits. When the child finally stopped in a clearing, Zethkar was breathing heavily. The human turned around slowly, and the Vorthak saw something in those small eyes that made his blood freeze. Intelligence. Cold, calculating intelligence. "You're tired," the child said in perfect galactic standard, though Zethkar had never heard. Humans speak anything but their primitive native tongue. "That's good. Tired makes you sloppy." The clearing exploded into activity. Humans emerged from concealment everywhere, behind trees, from underground burrows, even from above in the canopy. They moved with military precision, each taking predetermined positions. Zethkar spun wildly, trying to track them all, but there were too many. "Apex predator," one of the humans said, a female with scars covering her arms. That's what the xenobiologists called you. Ruled this planet for 3 million years. Another human, elderly with gray hair, stepped forward. Magnificent creature, really. Perfect killing machine. Too bad you picked the wrong target. Zethkar roared, the sound, shaking leaves from trees. He charged the nearest human, only to find empty air. They scattered like shadows, regrouping instantly in new positions. Energy weapons hummed to life, but they didn't fire. "The child is mine," the scarred female called out. "My daughter, Emma, 7 years old, and already showing the instincts." Zethkar's mind reeled. The child was bait. The entire encounter had been orchestrated. "You see," the elderly human continued, circling slowly, "you made one critical error in your assessment of our species. You saw our lack of natural weapons and assumed weakness, but you failed to understand our greatest strength." The child, Emma, stepped forward again. "We're pack hunters too, but our pack isn't just our family or our tribe." She gestured to the surrounding humans. "Our pack is our entire species. When one of us is threatened," the scarred woman added, "we don't just defend, we hunt." Zethkar finally understood. The humans hadn't come to Kepler 442b to coexist with the native predators. They had come to replace them. The energy weapons powered down. The humans began to withdraw, melting back into the forest as silently as they had appeared. Only the child remained, standing small and unthreatened in the center of the clearing. "You can go back to your pack now," Emma said, her voice carrying an authority that belied her age. "Tell them what you learned here. Tell them that humans don't have claws or fangs or armored hide." She smiled, and in that expression, Zethkar saw the face of humanity's true nature. "Tell them we have something better. We have each other." The Vorthak turned and fled. 3 days later, the pack abandoned their territory. For the first time in 3 million years, the apex predators of Kepler 442b retreated from their own world. The humans of New Haven never saw them again. In the settlement school, young Emma continued her xenobiology lessons, learning about the galaxy's many species and their fascinating adaptations. Her teacher often remarked how gifted she was at understanding predator behavior. After all, it takes one to know one.